Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about American toads. In our Meet My Pets video, we have gotten 7 new animals, and one of those animals is Paul the toad. We were going to name him Barbara, but we decided Paul's a better name. Today is a care guide on American toads. Oh, he just jumped. Okay. Dude, you're getting my camera all dirty. Let's start today's care guide before Paul ruins my camera. Announcement before we totally jump into this care guide. So the intro that you saw this morning that shows all of my animals is going to be the intro that you are going to be seeing for every single animal video, which is going to be exciting because I am going to start to make a lot more care guides and a lot more animal videos. Let's jump into this care guide. The first thing we are going to be talking about is enclosure. For American toads, especially if they're wild caught, you need to give them a big enclosure. Nothing smaller than 10 gallons, and I do not recommend a 10-gallon. I have a 17-gallon enclosure. He is in a very natural enclosure, and so I'm going to flip this camera around so I can show you this. You might be excited about this enclosure because it's the most natural enclosure I've probably ever done for one of my animals. So he has this little piece of slate to hide under, about an inch, about 3 inches of substrate to burrow down in. For substrate, he has these very little tiny wood chips mixed with some eco earth. And then he has 3 different plants in here, just to make it more natural. And then he has 2 tube hides to hide in, I guess. And then he has his pond, because he's an amphibian, he drinks through his skin, and so that's somewhere to swim in. He also has this water dish, and yeah, so this is his enclosure. So another thing with the enclosure is you have to have at least an inch for them to burrow in because they are burrowing animals. I would recommend more. I have about 3 inches of substrate, and like I showed in that clip, I use some of this very loose and soft wood chips mixed with some eco earth. And so I really like eco earth because it's something that they can burrow down in easily, and it's really natural, like the dirt that they would normally burrow in the wild. They need somewhere to soak in because they're amphibians and they drink through their skin. You can have a pond like I do. I recommend that just because it's more natural. But you can also have a water dish. Their water dish does need to be big enough for them to turn around in, though, just so that they have space to actually move in their water dish, because sometimes they like to sit there and soak and stay there for a while. What we're going to be talking about is diet. My toad mainly eats crickets and mealworms, just because that's what he seems to eat the most. You can also feed them store-bought earthworms, but whatever you are feeding to your toad, you need to make sure that it is store-bought. You cannot feed them things from the wild, even if your toad is wild caught, because they can carry diseases and make your toad very, very, very sick. Dust your animals food with ReptiCalcium. I don't, because in the wild they get all their nutrients from what they eat, and with the American toads from just where I live, they eat mainly crickets and earthworms, and so they get all the nutrients from those. And so with my toad eating crickets and mealworms, he still gets all the nutrients that he needs. I'm going to be teaching you how to tell the gender of your toad. So there's 2 ways, so I'm going to teach you both of them. The first way is to pick them up between these 2 bumps on their back, and if they croak, they're a male, so obviously mine is a male. And also, you can't really see this on camera, but females have the same color chin as their whole underside, but males, you can see with mine, have a little bit of red and blue. So you can see the red at the top and the blue at the bottom. He's croaking again because he thinks that he's cool. The topic we are going to be going over today is where you should get your toad from. Now, American toads are usually never captive bred, and if they are, they're usually on very shady websites, and so I do not recommend getting one from there. There's many other types of toads, like Pac-Man toads or Pac-Man frogs, that you can get captive bred, and you don't have to catch them from the wild. But if there's no other types of toads that you want besides an American toad, and you really want an American toad, and there's lots around you, and it's easy to just go in your backyard or your woods and catch one, then you can do that if you really know what you're doing and if you take care of them right, because these can be great pets because of how sweet they are and how easy they are, but you do still really got to know what you're doing because they're fragile animals, and if you mess up, you can really damage their health. And if you find one and you've had it for even just a couple of days and it's still not eating, you really do need to let it go because you don't want this animal to die. Thanks for watching my video. Bye. Click that subscribe and that like button if you truly enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content like this, tell me in the comments down below so that I can start making more animal care guides. Bye!